Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to pull out the key ideas from really compelling sources.
And today we're looking at leadership, business transformation, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about this. It's 2012. Hubert Joly gets this call. Maybe you should be CEO of Best Buy.
Right, and Best Buy was, well, it was in deep trouble.
Totally. Facing Amazon, looking like it might just disappear. Joly's first thought, he actually said, Jim, you're crazy.
Yeah, you can imagine. But he took it.
He did. And what happened next was, honestly, one of the biggest turnarounds we've seen in business lately.
Definitely. So our source today is extracts from Joly's book, The Heart of Business. Great title.
It really is. And it includes a foreword from Bill George, too.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission here is basically to unpack Joly's insights,
Yeah.
give you a shortcut to this idea of putting people, humanity at the center of work and leadership.
And explore why maybe the old ways aren't cutting it anymore and how this focus on purpose can create, well, what Joly calls human magic.
Okay, let's start with the problem. What did Joly actually walk into? He talks about going mystery shopping in 2012.
Yeah, and it wasn't pretty. He found employees just kind of hanging out, chatting, not really paying attention to customers.
And he even got charged, what was it, $18 for a simple screen protector install?
$10, yeah. It really showed a company that had lost its way,
But this wasn't just Best Buy, right? The sources say this is bigger.
Oh, much bigger. It's framed as a global epidemic of disengagement, the cost. Something like $7 trillion in lost productivity globally.
Wow, $7 trillion.
Yeah. Most people just feeling meh about work, just getting by. Joly even admits his own teenage jobs, assistant mechanic sticking labels on cans.
Right.
He was basically a slacker, his word, because the work just felt pointless, a means to an end, no purpose.
That really paints a picture. But think about the opposite. What if people were engaged?
Well, the numbers are pretty stark. Studies show highly engaged teams are 17% more productive,
Okay.
21% more profitable. People are 12 times less likely to quit. It's huge. And even 25–50% less likely to get injured on the job. It's massive.
So why is there so much disengagement? Is it just bad jobs?
Well, partly it's this historical view, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Work is a burden, a curse almost. Mark Twain said work is a necessary evil to be avoided.
Right, I've heard that.
And you see it in ancient myths like Sisyphus, or even the word travail in French, coming from a word for a torture device.
Ouch. Okay, so that's the cultural baggage, but then there's the business side.
Exactly. For decades, the dominant idea, pushed hard by Milton Friedman, was simple. The only job of a business is to make money for shareholders. Maximize profit. Full stop.
That idea was everywhere. Still is, in many places.
It is. But Joly argues, and the source really digs into this, that this view is fundamentally wrong, dangerous, and ill-suited to today's environment.
Okay, why? What are the big problems with it?
Well, first, it ignores externalities. The costs businesses push onto society, pollution, waste that they don't actually pay for on their balance sheet.
Right, the hidden costs.
Then there's the accounting itself. Joly saw this firsthand. As a CFO, accounting rules can be, let's say, conveniently applied. They don't always show the real economic picture.
Okay, so the numbers can be misleading.
And crucially, focusing only on profit is dangerous. It treats profit as the goal, not the outcome.
Ah, like focusing on the symptom, not the underlying health.
Precisely. Look at Best Buy before July 2009-2012. They cut costs, slowed spending on stores, underinvested online to prop up short-term profits.
And the result?
Dusty stores and poor customer service. It hurt them badly in the long run. It also stifles innovation. A Stanford study found innovation drops 40% after companies go public because of market pressure for quarterly results.
That's significant.
And society's catching on. Younger generations are looking at inequality, environmental issues, and feeling pretty disillusioned with that old model of capitalism. You see it in surveys, employee actions like that Amazon walkout in 2019.
Right, demanding climate action.
Exactly. And it's not just activists. Customers expect more. Employees expect more. Even big investors like Larry Fink at BlackRock are saying companies need a social purpose.
The whole ESG investing boom reflects that too, right? Environmental, social governance.
Huge growth. From $23 trillion to over $30 trillion in just 2 years. The expectations have fundamentally shifted.
So this sets the stage for Joly's big realization, his aha moment.
Yes, it happened way back in 1993. He's at dinner with Jean-Marie Descarpentries, CEO of Honeywell Bull.
Yeah, okay.
And Descarpentries just drops this bomb on him. Remember, Joly's steeped in that profit-first world. He says, the purpose of a corporation is not to make money.
Wow. That must have hit him.
Totally. D. Carpentry's explained his model. It's people first,
Yeah.
then business, then
Like
finance.
people first do finance.
Right. Invest in your people, help them excel. That leads to great business performance, delighting customers, and that leads to strong financial results. Profit is the outcome, the result.
Not the starting point.
Exactly. It's an outcome and an imperative. You need profit to fulfill the mission, but it's not the why.
Yeah.
That really stuck with Joly. It felt much more inspiring.
So how did Joly build on that? What's this new model look like?
He talks about creating purposeful human organizations. And right at the top, there's a noble purpose. He borrows that term from Lisa Earle McLeod.
A noble purpose. What does that mean practically?
It's the positive impact the company aims to have on the world, and it's not just a slogan. It has to be baked into everything the company does.
Okay.
And the idea is employees connect with this purpose. It energizes them. And that purpose then shapes how the company relates to everyone: customers, suppliers, communities, shareholders.
We connects everyone.
Yes, Joly calls it a declaration of interdependence. Profit is still vital, absolutely, but it's the fuel, the outcome that lets the purpose live.
Let's bring it back to Best Buy then. He thought taking the CEO job was crazy because of Amazon and his lack of retail background. What changed his mind?
It's fascinating. He didn't just look at spreadsheets. He went into the stores. He talked to the blue shirts, the frontline staff.
Okay, boots on the ground.
Yeah. And he quickly realized, you know what? Amazon isn't the real problem here. Our problems are self-inflicted.
Like the bad service,
Yes.
the disengaged staff he saw?
Exactly. And that actually gave him hope. Because if the problems were internal,
They could be fixed internally.
right, he saw it, could be fixed, and look what happened.
Yeah.
The company everyone thought Amazon would kill not only survived, but actually started partnering with Amazon.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what was the noble purpose they landed on? It clearly wasn't just sell more stuff.
No, they defined it as enriching lives through technology.
Enriching lives through technology.
Okay, Joly uses that great analogy.
Uh-huh.
Two masons are working. You ask one what he's doing, he says, I'm cutting stone. You ask the other, he says, I'm building a cathedral.
Ah, the bigger picture.
Yeah.
The purpose.
That's it. That cathedral inspires people. It makes the work meaningful. It's the difference between Joly miserably labeling vegetable cans as a teen and somewhere like Wegmans where employees seem genuinely happy because they're rallied around helping families live better through food.
So how did that purpose, enriching lives, actually change things on the ground at Best Buy? How did it impact customers?
There are some powerful stories. Like Stanley, he'd had a lung transplant, was recovering at home.
Okay.
Best Buy has set him up with some in-home tech sensors, AI. A Best Buy care agent noticed the data showed Stanley wasn't eating enough.
Wow, the system picked that up.
Yeah, and the agent didn't just send an alert. They proactively reached out, organized help for Stanley. That's not selling a product, that's providing a solution, building a relationship.
It's a huge shift.
Huge. Or Anthony Wu, a blue shirt. A customer comes in, she's hearing impaired, needs headphones. Anthony really listens, understands her specific needs, and recommends the right pair for her, not necessarily the priciest.
Creating a real connection.
Exactly, an authentic human connection. It moves way beyond just a transaction.
So it's about seeing customers as people, not just...
Not just walking wallets, as Joly puts it, yeah. But it wasn't just customers. This approach extended to everyone.
Right, that idea from De Carpentry's again. It's not either, it's and.
Precisely. So for Best Buy, it meant, yes, delight customers, train staff to be like an inspiring friend,
Okay.
and partner with vendors. Instead of fighting everyone, especially the disruptors, collaborate. That's where the Samsung store within a store came from.
Ah, I remember those.
Then they did it with Microsoft, Sony, Apple, even Amazon. It showed you don't have to see business as a zero-sum game.
Interesting. What else?
And support communities. Best Buy got involved in social issues, supporting dreamers, joining climate pacts.
Okay, showing broader responsibility.
And reward shareholders. But treat them like human beings, too, understanding they have different goals. Profit is essential. Joly's clear on that. But it flows from doing the right things for people and the business strategy.
And the results backed it up.
Absolutely. Share price tripled. Earnings grew significantly under this human-centered approach.
Okay, so this leads us nicely into Joly's framework for making this happen.
Yeah.
The 5 key ingredients for unleashing human magic.
Yeah, this is the core of how you create that environment where people can really thrive.
Ingredient 1, connecting dreams or purpose.
Yeah.
There's a great story about a manager, Jason Luciano,
Oh, yeah, at the South Bay store. He asked every single person on his team, what is your dream?
and wrote them on a whiteboard.
Right there for everyone to see. But he didn't stop there. A blue shirt's dream was independence. So Jason worked with her, created a promotion plan, helped her move up to supervisor.
Wow, actively helping them achieve it.
He connected her personal dream to her work at Best Buy. Joly calls the energy this creates electricity, like in the movie Billy Elliot, that passion. Leaders need to feed that connection.
Okay, powerful stuff. Ingredient 2.
Developing human connections. This is huge. Think about Connie Scarlett, head of HR at Best Buy.
What did she do?
She wrote a blog post for the company about her own struggles with depression. Incredibly brave.
Wow, that must have opened things up.
Immensely. It fostered openness, connection, shared humanity. Joly talks about initially being skeptical of that Gallup question, do you have a best friend at work?
Yeah, it sounds a bit soft.
Right. But he saw data at Carlson Companies showing TGI Fridays restaurants with strong friendships performed way better. Connections matter, belonging, feeling seen.
I am seen, therefore I am.
Exactly. Best Buy learned Black and African-American employees often felt invisible, so they started a reverse mentor program.
Joly got mentored.
Yeah, by Laura Gladney, an African-American manager. He said it opened his eyes, led to real changes in hiring, like recruiting from HBCUs.
So connection needs trust and vulnerability.
Absolutely. Brene Brown calls vulnerability the glue. And trust takes time, keeping promises, being transparent. Think of Alan Mulally at Ford asking for Reed Amber Green status reports.
Right, the turnaround there.
When someone finally put up a red, signaling a big problem, Mulally applauded them and asked, how can we help? That built psychological safety instantly. Vulnerability isn't weakness.
Like Marriott CEO Arne Sorensen's emotional video during the early days of COVID. Vulnerable, but also hopeful.
Exactly. Okay, third ingredient, fostering autonomy.
Joly mentions Maurice Grange's theory of the mare.
Yeah, the idea that if you carry your team like a mare carries its rider, they'll just lean on you and stop walking themselves.
Huh. Good analogy.
Yeah.
It challenged Joly's top-down training.
Big time. He came from McKinsey, used to having the answers. Autonomy flips that. It boosts innovation, satisfaction, reduces stress.
So how do you foster it?
Key thing is pushing decision-making down as low as possible. Joly loved it when Corey Berry, who later became CEO, made a big call on her own.
Empowering people.
Yes. Using tools like the RC model helps clarify who owns what. Joly himself focused his own decisions on just 4 big areas: strategy, major investments, the exec team, and values.
And letting others run with the rest.
Pretty much. Amazon's disagree and commit idea is similar, and involving people, a participative process.
Like those workshops for the Renew Blue plan.
Exactly. Joly learned his job wasn't to have answers, but to help the team find them. Adopting agile methods helps too, like U.S. Bank did.
But autonomy isn't just letting everyone do whatever they want, is it?
No, Joly learned that too. He actually scrapped a results-only work environment early on at Best Buy because the company wasn't ready. Autonomy works best when people have both the skill and the motivation, the will.
Makes sense. You need both.
Right. He had to intervene at Blizzard once where skill was high, but people weren't collaborating. Will was maybe lower in that specific area. It needs balance.
Okay. Ingredient 4. Achieving mastery. How do you get people to strive for excellence continuously?
Joly uses the example of that high school football team, De La Salle Spartans, undefeated for 151 games.
Incredible record. How?
Their focus wasn't on winning or even perfection. It was on perfect effort, giving their absolute best on every single play.
Perfect effort. I like that.
Mastery, Joly says, is about getting skilled through practice in something you enjoy. And a key part is focusing on effort, not just results.
Like the tennis analogy. Focus on hitting the ball well, not winning the point.
Exactly. Obsessing over the outcome can actually make you less effective. It's also about developing individuals, not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Like that manager Chris Schmidt in Denver.
Yeah. He boosted sales associate revenue by 10% simply by coaching them individually based on their specific data, their strengths and weaknesses, not just generic training.
Coaching, not just training.
Big difference. And it involves rethinking performance reviews. Joly is critical of those old-school top-down ranking systems like GE's rank and Yang.
Yeah, the bottom 10% getting fired.
He prefers something like Benjamin Zander's idea of giving students an A at the start of the course, asking them to write about how they'll achieve it. It unlocks potential.
So Best Buy changed their reviews.
They moved to employee-led quarterly conversations about development, more forward-looking, and crucially, making space for failure.
The get-out-of-jail-free cards.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. For senior leaders, encouraging smart risks, calculated reversible gambles. Because you learn from failure. The first pilot for in-home advisors failed. Online price matching was a gamble.
As Bezos says, failure and invention are inseparable twins.
Exactly. You need to allow for it to get innovation.
Okay, final ingredient number 5. Putting the wind at your back, which means growth.
Right. Remember how Best Buy initially blamed headwinds, Amazon, online shopping?
Yeah, the external factors.
Joly actually asked Tim Cook at Apple and Jeff Bezos at Amazon, how's the wind where you were sailing?
What did they say?
Both said great, which made Joly think.
Maybe the problem isn't the wind. Maybe it's us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we probably were the problem, he said. Growth isn't just nice to have, it's an imperative. It creates energy, opportunity, allows for investment.
So how do you create that tailwind?
First, think possibilities. Don't limit your view. Best Buy's growth chief, Ashish Saxena, redefined their market. Not just selling hardware, $250 billion market, but total tech spending, including services over $1 trillion.
Wow, changes the whole game. A blue ocean strategy.
Finding that uncontested space. It also helps to set BHA's big, hairy, audacious goals, like aiming for thousands of in-home advisors. But you balance that ambition with starting small, testing, scaling.
Ambitious but pragmatic.
And finally, turning challenges into advantages. COVID was a huge challenge, but look how companies adapted digital conferences, virtual shopping. Challenges force innovation.
As Cardinal Newman said, growth is the only evidence of life.
A powerful quote.
So we've got the model, the ingredients. But what about the leader themselves? Let's talk about the purposeful leader. Joly tackles some myths he grew up with.
Yeah, 3 big ones. 1, leaders are superheroes, infallible geniuses. Think Jack Welch at GE.
The celebrity CEO.
Right, but that's dangerous. They can start believing their own hype, get disconnected. Joly admits a job he took at Vivendi was pointless, driven purely by his own ambition.
Okay, so myth 1.
Yeah.
Busted. What's 2?
2, leadership is innate. You're either born with it or you're not.
A common belief.
But totally wrong, Joly argues. Even Lloyd Blankfein, CEO of Goldman Sachs, admitted feeling daily self-doubt, like, is today the day they figure out I'm not up to this?
Wow, that's relatable.
And Joly's own journey proves it. He changed. He wasn't born a compassionate, people-first leader. He evolved, which busts myth 3. People can't change.
His whole story contradicts that.
Absolutely. So the big lesson Joly took is be aware and beware of what drives you. Ego is a trap.
He actively tried to manage his own ego.
Yeah.
Like no magazine covers, flying commercial.
Yeah, staying grounded and aiming to be dispensable, which is why he handed over the CEO role to Corey Barry when the time was right. He'd built something sustainable.
So if you're not a born superhero, what kind of leader should you be? Joly offers 5 Bs.
These are powerful choices about who you want to be as a leader. First, be clear about your purpose.
Connecting your personal why with the company's purpose.
Exactly. What gives you energy? How does it align? Corey Barry's purpose, leave something a little better, fits Best Buy perfectly. Remember Marilyn Carlson Nelson asking Joly about his soul?
Right, digging deep. Okay, second, B.
Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Don't just reflect the room's mood, set the temperature.
Control the climate.
Yes. During that potential data breach, Joly consciously set an upbeat, positive tone, saw it as a leadership moment, not just a crisis.
Okay.
Third, be clear about whom you serve. And spoiler, it's not your ego.
Right.
Serving others, your team, customers, the mission is how you lead effectively. Marshall Goldsmith told Joly to see everyone as a customer. Don't be that executive stuck at the airport yelling, "Do you know who I am?"
The ultimate ego trap. Fourth B.
Be driven by values. Simple advice Joly got. Tell the truth and do what's right. But values aren't just posters on the wall.
They have to be lived.
Absolutely. Like Best Buy closing stores during COVID for safety, even knowing the financial hit. That's values in action. It also means knowing when to leave if your values don't align, as Joly did earlier in his career.
And the fifth B.
Be authentic. Bring your whole self to work. Be vulnerable.
Like Kami Scarlett's blog post, or Joly's emotional farewell email saying, "I love you," to his team.
Exactly that. Admit what you don't know. Brené Brown again. Vulnerability is the core of connection, and connection is the core of business.
Wow. Okay, we have covered so much ground here, from the problems with traditional business to this human-centered, purpose-driven model.
And those 5 ingredients of human magic: purpose, connection, autonomy, mastery, and growth.
It's really about unleashing potential by putting people genuinely first.
And seeing profit as the result, not the sole driver.
So the big question for everyone listening, what does this all mean for you? Joly points out there's often a gap between knowing this stuff and actually doing it.
Right, the understanding doing gap.
So if you're an individual, maybe ask, what really drives me? What's my purpose? How can I connect that to my work, build my own cathedral?
And if you're a leader, or aspire to be, what kind of leader do you want to be? How can you start fostering those 5 ingredients, purpose, connection, autonomy, mastery, growth, with your own team? Even small steps count.
And maybe we could leave you with this final thought from Joly. He says the whole idea of the born leader, the superhero, it's just a myth.
What's real, he says, is getting feedback from a coach, hearing a hard truth from a colleague, or maybe learning something profound about life from a frontline employee, totally different from you.
It suggests leadership is learned, grown, developed through experience and connection.
Exactly. So maybe this deep dive is an invitation for you to start or continue your own transformation, one grounded in the incredible power of people and purpose.
Distributors can benefit from the quick cash factoring can provide. Contact Chris Lehnes at Versant Funding to learn if your client is a factoring fit.